Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Final Takeaways live stream tonight for September 5, 2025. Welcome back to those of you who have already joined us in the past. And if you're new, we welcome you as well. We're always welcoming others, new fans, subscribers, and followers. In the chat tonight, I see Eugenia Shuri. Good night. Eugenia Shuri, Carlisle Madu, see that, and there are other people in the room, but these are the individuals who have said good night to me. Hello, good night to all of you. Ramdio, good night. I hope you guys had a wonderful week. It's Friday, it's TGIF, and if you don't have to work on the weekend, well, let the party start. Yes, so it's Friday, and we are going to be bringing to you some updates, some important updates from Guyana. Maybe you heard about some of the stuff already, maybe you didn't. But what happens here at the Final Takeaway is that maybe we bring you a fresh perspective. We show you a different side of things or help you to see things from a different perspective. And also, most importantly, our live stream is about allowing our fans, followers, and subscribers to interact with us, ask us questions, share your views and things like that, because at the end of the day, that's what matters. When our audience is satisfied and they feel like they can participate in our live stream. So you are important in this process. We are scheduled to start. We were actually at 8:50 p.m. It's 8:51 p.m. We have over 100 viewers and people are still coming into the stream. Maybe we can hang out for another couple of minutes before we start. So, yes, if there's anything you want to ask me before we start tonight, feel free to ask me. Yes, see that. You are very welcome, for I really appreciate your input. Absolutely. We, at the Final Takeaway, we try to bring the news. It's not a news channel per se. It's a media platform. But we try to bring whatever information we're bringing to our subscribers, our community, everyone. We try to bring it direct, unfiltered, but at the same time trying to balance our reports and analyses. Now, the perception of bias is personal, and you're never right or wrong if you think that we're leaning one way or the other, or we're not maybe bringing the information to you the way you expect it to be packaged. But at the end of the day, we hope that we overall satisfy you with how we present the information, okay? And you can always feel free to call us out, because we're not perfect here at the Final Takeaway, and we welcome feedback from our fans, because at the end of the day, we want our fans to be happy, okay? Alrighty, so this evening, we want to talk about 3 important updates regarding the 2025 elections, which isn't over as yet, because there are some things that are happening in between, and they are preventing GECOM, I guess, from making the ultimate final official declaration of which party has officially won the 2025 elections. As you may know by now, the PPP Civic has announced that it has won the elections based on the polls, statements of polls, and the tabulation and the counts, the final counts, according to GECOM, that were declared on GECOM's website, which is available to all. And based on that, even a statement out of the Department of Public Information, I was about to say education, stating that the PPPC is projected to be the winner with over 200,000 votes in all 10 regions. Okay, so if you're all caught up with that, now we can jump into what we want to talk about today. So the first thing we want to cover is something that happened today. Very interesting. President Irfaan Ali, I have to say president before Mr. Ali corrects me, okay, clashed with reporter Travis Chase this afternoon outside of GECOM. as the reporter approached Mr. Ali for a comment on two questions: why he was at GECOM today, because the recount, the APNU has called for a recount of the ballots in Region 4 and Region 5, and I think Region 10 or 7 and 10, but GECOM allowed the recount for 4 and 5. So that was happening today in Georgetown, Guyana, and both the PPP General Secretary, Dr. Barrett Jagdeo, and President Irfaan Ali visited GECOM for that process. I believe it's happening at the GECOM's headquarters. Needless to say, Travis Chase, a reporter of HGPTV Nightly News, approached both Jagdeo and Ali for comments. Things went south very quickly when Chase asked President Ali a couple of questions. So we want to run that clip for you, and we want you to tell us what you think about this confrontation, because it really went sideways, because it ended up with some aggressive comments being made by both parties, and with Chase referring to Ali as quote unquote confrontational, antagonistic, and arrogant. So we want you to tell us what you think. Was Chase wrong in his approach to President Ali? Was Ali wrong in his approach to Chase? Okay? Bearing in mind that Ali is the president of Guyana and Travis Chase is a reporter of an independent news media organization. So let's run that clip for you, okay? I'll be right back. One moment.
So what is the issue?
Did you personally, as Mohammed Irfaan Ali, observe any irregularities? President Mohammed Irfaan Ali. Did you... Hold on. Did you... Hold on, sir. No, sir. Sir, listen. This is not a confrontation. No, hold on. Mr. President, this is not a confrontation. I understand you are... No, hold on. You are surrounded by... You have respect too, but you have as well. I'm asking you a simple question. I'm asking you a simple question. Did you observe any irregularities at all?
None. This election is free and fair.
That's right.
You guys want to create a narrative.
No, not you guys, sir.
You guys, you're part of it.
No, don't say that. Don't accuse me. No, you're wrong. You're wrong.
I have a democratic right.
My democratic right is saying you're wrong.
And I can say my democratic
right and you're wrong.
Is that Travis Chase is part of a narrative that is trying to create mischief.
No, you're wrong. You have a good day.
Always.
A very confrontational President Irfaan Ali accused. Sorry, ma'am. What do you say, Minister? A very confrontational Irfaan Ali, trying to intimidate members of the press, the independent press. But of course, I'm going to stand my ground, and I will not be moved. I'm not going to be bothered by the president is trying to implicate me in trying to say that we're part of a narrative that is creating mischief. That's a matter for him. That's a matter for the president. And of course, we've all been addressing him as President Irfaan Ali. One of the very reasons the independent press do not really engage him because of the arrogance that is portrayed by the president when he is approached and asked simple questions. So he said he's a candidate.
So what is it?
So yes, guys, that is the clip with President Irfaan Ali and reporter Travis Chase. We want you to jump into the comment section and tell us what are your views on this interaction between these two gentlemen, and let us know if you think that even though the reporter is from an independent news media, if you think that he acted unprofessionally based on the basis that he was speaking to the president of Guyana, and his manner, his question, well, it was a simple question asking Dr. Ali if he noticed any irregularities with the elections, but that went sideways very quickly because Chase referred to Ali as Irfaan Ali, and he forgot to say President Irfaan Ali, and so that just went south very quickly. Let us know what you think in the comment section. For those of you who are now joining us, thank you for joining us this evening. We know our notice was sort of last minute, but we're glad you're here. We want to welcome back Carlisle Madu, says, yes, the recount is currently in progress. Della Gillis says, good night. We have Joshua saying, hi, good night. Good night, Joshua. Yes. So let us know what you think. The next thing we want to talk about is another important issue. A Partnership for National Unity, the APNU, has called for a forensic audit of the elections, the 2025 elections, and or voiding the elections and having fresh elections. So in a nutshell, the APNU, led by presidential candidate Aubrey Norton, is suggesting that there may be a need for fresh elections. So do tell us what you think about that request by Mr. Norton. And I'm going to go through with you very quickly some of the things that, well, a letter that Mr. Norton sent to the chairperson of GECOM, Claudette Singh, who, by the way, has not been seen in a while. So we don't know where Claudette Singh is, but she's been MIA, I think, a few days before the elections, maybe at least the day before the elections, and no one has seen or heard from her publicly since a couple of days ago. So do let us know what you think in the comment section. Do you know where Claudette Singh is? And do you know why she's MIA? Is she even still the chairperson of GECOM? That's a good question to ask. So let me bring up that document by the APNU asking for a number of things and stating the reasons why. Okay, so I'm going to try and answer a few questions in a moment and look at your comments. So on your screen, you should be seeing a document by Aubrey Norton where, let me see if I can bring this up some more, a bit bigger. Okay, let's see. Okay, no, it's not. Okay. Okay. Bear with me one moment. I'm trying to see if I can bring up this document a bit bigger so you can see it properly on the screen. Let me know if you can see clearly, please. Let me know if you can see this clearly, please. Thank you. Okay. We're having some trouble with that. Okay. Okay, one moment. So essentially, as I get this ready, Aubrey Norton, who is the APNU leader, he's asking for a fresh recount or a forensic audit. First, he's asking for a forensic audit, which is a thorough examination of the election's results. And he has sent a letter to GECOM, to Claudette Singh, asking for them to go over all the results, I guess, a bit by bit, line by line, number by number. And if they're not satisfied of the outcome, they're asking for fresh elections to quash the current election and have fresh elections. Yeah, this is not what I wanted to. I wanted to actually bring this up clearer for you. I don't know why I'm not getting it clearer. Okay, let's try one more time. Oh, I know why. So, hello, Carlson Floyd. Carlson Floyd is in the house. Susan Pinterio is in the house. She says, I agree on a next election. She says she agrees on another election. Carlson Floyd says the president has a short fuse and does not like being challenged. I have seen that or more. Thank on a few occasions, I think is what Carlson Floyd is saying. He says anytime he is asked tough questions, he becomes very defensive and accuses people of being political or being an agent of the opposition. That shows lack of accountability. What do you think? Dallas, yes, says good night. Who else do we have in here that's new? CDAT says the president is right with that. Chase is always where problem is, where the fire is, where the fight is, where the demonstration is. Something have to give. Okay, so it seems like CDAT is agreeing that Travis Chase may have stepped out of line, and on the other hand, we have another commenter, Floyd, who is saying that President Ali has the propensity to get on the defensive whenever he's asked tough questions. Okay, so let me know what you think about that. As I tell you, I actually want to bring up this document by Norton because I want you to be able to see what he said. Okay, let's see now. Okay. So, the presidential candidate for the APNU, Norton, has written to Claudette Singh, and pretty much this is what Norton says. One moment. He's urgent request for a forensic audit and or a birding of the 2025 electoral process. It is clear that the results of our national elections do not reflect the will of the Guyanese people. Can you guys see that clearly? Can someone let me know? Because I can try to bring it up bigger for you. If you want to see it. It is clear that the results of our national elections do not reflect the will of the people. With a sense of earnestness, I write to request a forensic audit of electoral data, including electors' votes on behalf of a partnership for national unity, entirely based on various egregious violations of the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana and the Representation of the People Act, Chapter 103. We are currently in receipt of various pieces of evidence that shows, I'm going to paraphrase, the gross irregularities of the duties and negligence of presiding officers appointed by GECOM. These have been exacerbated by actions of GECOM, resulting in what the party calls collusion, conspiracy, and deliberate abrogation of the will of the Guyanese people. And he went on to say that he cited some examples of where there were some irregularities, according to them, like, for example, an instance of ballot boxes and, some other reasons. So basically what the APNU wants. Okay, so the APNU also says the said irregularities. Let me see if I can bring that one up for you too. Okay. Let's bring that up on the screen as well, if you can see that. The APNU says the said irregularities were brought to GECOM's attention by the APNU's assistant agent District 4, which is Region 4, I believe, in the presence of local and international observers during the counting process on September 2nd, 2025. And that, he said, forms the basis for the request for recounts of certain districts, regions 4 and 5. And so today, I think it started yesterday, the recount started yesterday, and I believe they started with Region 5, and they completed Region 5 today based on our latest report. And they have started Region 6 sometime this evening and may complete it by tomorrow. And after that, according to the PPPC officials, top officials, at that point, they say that it's not going to change the results, that the APNU has lost the election bigly, according to Donald Trump, bigly, and the recount is not going to fix that the PPP has won overwhelmingly by 10 point something percent versus 0.3% compared to the 2020 elections. And of course, we're going to bring you some more clips with Dr. Jagdeo, where he explains why the PPP feels like they have a landslide victory, and he made some other comments. So jump into the comment section and tell me if you think that the APNU has a legit case for recounts. We know that we haven't seen anything specific coming out of the APNU in terms of evidence posted on their social media, but we do know that Wynne says this Azudin Mohammed himself announced that his party does not believe that the elections were free or fair, and that they wanted a recount too for region, I believe it's Region 8, Pataro Siparuni, yes, and applied to GECOM, and GECOM says, nope, we're not going to do that, too late, or whatever the reasons they cited. And so they were denied the opportunity for a recount in Region 8. However, they still feel that they've been shortchanged, so to speak, and that they should have had an opportunity to have a recount in Region 8, like APNU, who's been granted the permission to have a recount for Regions 4 and 5 so far, okay? And where are we? So let us know what you think. Do you think that this is a possibility? Do you think there should be fresh elections based on these citations of these irregularities by the APNU? We have Soul Sanctium. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Soul Sanctium. Soul Sanctium is our moderator. So if you have any question, you can direct it also to Soul Sanctium. You'll see Soul Sanctium also responding to your questions while I, get the other things done on this side of things. Okay, let me see if anyone asked a question. No, not as yet. Carlson says, is in order. There are many irregularities as pronounced in one of the observer's preliminary report. And that's the other thing. I'm glad, Carlisle Madu, you mentioned a key phrase here, or keywords, preliminary report, because yesterday at his usual Thursday press conference, Dr. Jagdeo spoke of the fact that the observers, all of the observers say it was a free and fair elections and everything was great. They didn't spot they didn't see anything major that caught their eye to think that, well, this wasn't a free and fair elections. But the thing I would like to point out to the audience and to Guyanese, whether you're living in Guyana, the United States, or whichever part of the world you are, or if you're just somebody who has an interest in Guyanese politics and you're in this stream this evening, what I want to point out that I didn't hear Dr. Jagdeo tell the public is that the observer's report that he's referring to is the preliminary report, which means that the observers, all the observers from the EU, the United States, the Carter Center, and the Commonwealth Mission, all of these groups are going to come back and provide a final report, because the preliminary report was provided on 2 days after the election. So that was not enough time for them to really sit down and comb through all of the concerns they may have had, some of the things that they noticed or observed. So they needed more time to give a full report. And I'm not sure when that report will be coming out, their reports, but I think in a couple of weeks, there will be, all of the missions are expected to submit their final reports. So that's key, and keep that in mind. There could be new information coming out in those reports. So let's not jump the gun and say, oh, well, the observers say everything was great, so therefore nobody can complain. We have to wait for the final report. By then, perhaps the elections would be called by GECOM and the winner would be announced. And maybe at that point, it'll be a non-factor in some sense, because it would have been business as usual again in Parliament and at the office of the president. You let me know what you think about that. So Carla Madu says, in my opinion, I'll read your comment in a moment. Yes, Carla Madu says, in my opinion, there should be a forensic audit of the ballots cast. Okay, so we have one person who believes that there should be a forensic audit, and Raymond Sukram says, I'm not sure. Are you saying you are a fan of Irfaan Guyana? I'm not sure what he's saying, but yes, maybe you can clear that up for us so we can. Yes. Carla says there are many irregularities as pronounced in one of the observers. Yes, I did comment on that as well. So the next thing is to see whether or not GECOM is going to grant the request made by the APNU party to have a full forensic audit of the results, and or agree to have fresh elections in Guyana. So if that happens, that means you guys have to go back and vote all over again. Okay? Twice. Hopefully they're able to resolve the differences, and, you know, whatever GECOM decides, we don't know. And I'm sure GECOM is competent enough to make that decision, and that all parties would accept whatever decision is handed down by GECOM as we await the final results. Carlson Floyd says, although I agree that APNU should get a chance at full recount if needed, I am not sure that it will substantially change the outcome. And that is what Dr. Jagdeo said with confidence. The APNU must regroup and take a long look in the mirror, says Floyd. And we have Soul Sanctium also is responding to your messages. Let me cue up a clip by Jagdeo that I want you to listen to. So Dr. Jagdeo is saying that the PPP Civic Party has won the elections landslide. They secured a landslide victory, and here's why he thinks this is the case.
So right now,
Okay, so in a moment you should see, let me know if you can see the video on the screen. I'm about to play the clip by Dr. Jagdeo.
So right now, everyone in Guyana has the declared results by the ROs, which are the official results by these ROs for all 10 regions. The tabulation of those results shows that the PPP Civic won a landslide in the 2025 elections.
Okay, so there you have it. A landslide victory in the 2025 elections, says Dr. Jagdeo. And by the way, Jagdeo spoke to Travis Chase earlier today as well, and he was asked whether or not they were preparing to swear in President Ali, and his response was yes, they are preparing for the swearing in, but that they're going to wait until GECOM declares the official winner of the elections. The other thing that Dr. Jagdeo said is that he knows for a fact that the elections were free and fair and transparent, because the observer missions to Guyana, all three of the observer missions, have said that that was the case. So I'm going to cue that up. You can hear what he says, and you'll let me know what your views are on the concept of free and fair when we're talking about all of these different irregularities being cited by not only the APNU, but by the Win Party. For example, Aswaddin Mohammed announced that that a lot of people did not come out to vote for his party, that he knows for a fact, because they felt intimidated, they felt afraid and scared, because allegedly they were PPP aligned officials at various polling stations watching and hovering over the process, and that these supporters of the Win Party were afraid, some of them, to come out and vote. And he felt that is intimidation, and that leads to disenfranchisement of these voters who felt like they could not come and vote out of fear of persecution. Let me know what you think in the comment section.
Every international observer
Cue up the clip for you. Here is Dr. Jagdeo again.
Every international observer group that has witnessed the polls in Guyana have concluded that the elections were peaceful and free and fair. The process, they concluded, was a transparent one. Although cumbersome in the count, but they recognize that that was because of the thoroughness of the process. The count was done openly and observed by the international and local observers, and it was done in the presence of the political agents from all the political parties, the polling agents. The statements of poll were all concluded and signed on to by the presiding officers and the polling agents for all the political parties. Those statements were immediately uploaded to GECOM's website and available to all Guyanese, unlike in the past. This was done all in a matter of hours. The process then continued. Using those statements of poll that were uploaded, the ROs and other GECOM officials, in the presence of all the political parties, tabulated the votes. They declared the results, and these declared results were signed on to by the party's agents.
Okay, so that again was Dr. Jagdeo, and he is spelling out to us what the processes were that led to the party believing that the elections were indeed free, fair, and transparent. Remember, you heard him say the preliminary report. I made a comment about that earlier, saying that the preliminary report is not the final report. So maybe, perhaps, we can wait until the final reports from the various observer missions are submitted before we can make a final ruling on whether or not they think, based on their observer missions, that the elections were free and fair. But even though they said that, they cited some of the things that they thought could have led to freer and fairer elections. Like they said, the voters list is padded. Yes, they said the voters list is padded, and we talked about the population the other night. I told you that there has not been a published census for Guyana since 2012. We understand based on our research that a census was done in 2022, but that statistics, the results were not published. Last we checked on the Guyana Bureau of Statistics website, we did not see the publication of that supposed census that was done in 2022. So technically the last census and the last information that has been published is the census for 2012. The current population for Guyana, according to the report that came out before the elections, is over 700,000 people. And if that's is that the total population? Because it doesn't account for the children. So if we don't count the children, then you're saying Guyana has at least 1 million people, because you have to account for the kids, and the kids aren't voters. So if the population is 700, 750, going on 800,000, then are the kids voting in these elections as well? So why is this list so high? So in terms of the numbers, so there is a theory that there are people on the list that have not been removed, and that's why the opposition was calling for a cleaned up voters list to remove, allegedly, people who have passed away, people who have migrated or are otherwise ineligible to vote. And then there were also discrepancies and not allegations, because GECOM admitted that there were nationals. There are people who voted in Guyana's elections that were not necessarily born Guyanese, but according to GECOM and according to Jagdeo, anybody that voted that was not a born Guyanese had the correct credentials to vote. For example, they were a resident, and as long as you come to the country, I believe, and stay in the country for 1 year, you can automatically gain residency and apply for your residency card. I'm not sure if you guys have a residency card, but at that point, that individual, whoever they are, regardless of, well, not regardless, actually, I think in the Commonwealth, it's a year. If they live in the Commonwealth regions, and Bangladesh is part of the Commonwealth, and according to reports, Bangladesh nationals or citizens voted in Guyana's elections. So that was pointed out as a potential red flag for the elections when we're talking about free and fair elections. Let me know what you think in the comment section. VChem says, good night, just tune in. Yeah, welcome, welcome. Yes, thank you for joining us. I know it's Friday night, and maybe between 8:50 when we started this live stream and 9:50 when we want to end this stream, because we don't want to hold you up. We know it's Friday night, and Friday night, it's been a long week, and some people just want to unwind. They don't want to listen to live streams and chat about anything. They just want to relax. They want to watch TV. You tell me. Maybe you just don't even want to be. You might, okay. Can we be finished already? I want to go out with my friends. Maybe the party starts at 10 p.m. So I have to wrap this up very quickly so you can be on your way to go hang out with your friends, because I know how Monday through Friday, for those of you who work Monday through Friday, it's a long week. So I definitely want to let you go soon, but I'm happy that you came through, all of you who stopped by and joined this live. You know, we have people coming in and out of the stream because, you know, it's a rolling basis. Some people stick around for a few minutes. Some people stick around for the entire live stream. And let me tell you something. I appreciate those fans who stick in this live stream for the entire period and who jump into this live as soon as they get the notification, like Eugenia Shuri and Carlson Floyd, Carlisle Madu. And, you know, if I didn't call your name, it's because there's a long list of comments in the section there, and I have to scroll back up to see your names. But each and every one of you who have been coming back and staying in the live throughout, I can't thank you enough for your support. So the other thing, one last thing before we start to maybe discuss whatever else you want to discuss and questions you want to get answered. Jagdeo went on to say that APNU's request for a recount of the regions that they requested for, and their new request for a forensic audit now, and or fresh elections, that according to Jagdeo, is a political tactic by the APNU party to delay the inevitable, meaning delaying the formal declaration by GECOM naming the PPPC the winner of the 2025 elections. Carlisle says, no. Let's go to 11 p.m. Carlisle Madu is ready to be in this live with us. I appreciate that. Okay, so if I'm going to stay on till 11 o'clock, then I'm going to have to power up. And I don't know, maybe I need to get something that will give me some extra energy so I can stay until 11 o'clock. Because truly and truly, I don't want to go, but I also don't want to like drag the live out so people, you know, get bored and they just want to, you know, not come back. You know, we want to keep it short and sweet. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much. And speaking of which, if you notice, we have a fan who is a VIP member, Carlson Floyd, with the green crown emoji in the chat. That's because Floyd is one of our VIP members. If you would like to become a VIP member and sport that special crown emoji special for you, then you can head over to our channel page, look for the join button, and you can click on that, and there will be a drop down menu. You'll see the various memberships that we have. There are 3. You can opt for gold, silver, or you can go big and go platinum. And those, if you join and you become a VIP member, you'll get special perks, exclusive benefits, like having your own fancy emoji next to your name. You see his name is lighted up here in green. So if you want your name to be lit up like that, you can skip over to the channel page and check out the memberships. Thank you for your support. Okay, so the other thing is that if you also want to support us, you can also send us special super stickers, super thanks, super chats. Yes, there is a button below. I think it's a heart below the video. You can always click on that and you'll see the drop down menu. There's a heart there, and you'll be able to say thanks in a special way to us. You don't have to, but if you do, we appreciate you as well. So last but not least, we're going to hear what Jagdeo says about why he thinks APNU wants a recount. And, the PPP is not having it. Let's cue up that for you on the screen.
What Norton was saying, making it seem
So let's listen to Dr. Jagdeo now.
what Norton was saying, making it seem as though the Region 4 votes were implausible. He never seen this before. It's utter nonsense. Also in Region 10, we moved from complete domination of the region to having lost the region, something we have never seen in this country. Well, we've seen this before in this country. So the PPP moved up in Region 10 from about 13% of the votes in the last elections to just under 20%, about 20% of the votes in these elections in Region 10. And then WIN took their support.
Okay, good. So there was again. That's our last clip with Doctor. I'm getting tongue tied with Dr. Jagdeo for this evening, and basically he's saying that if it was not for WIN, the We Invest in Nationhood Party, maybe the nation would have been having a different conversation. In that WIN stepped into the race and basically created an upset for the APNU party. And all things being equal, if the results stay the same or they're not significantly different in a way to shift the results in the favor of the APNU or another party, then the APNU will no longer be the official opposition party or the number one opposition party. It would be the We Invest in Nationhood party led by Asruddin Mohammed. I want to recognize Selena, Natasha. Hi, good night. Welcome. Essin TV, I think that's the name. Jagdeo insist in self-proclamation. Opposition parties have not conceded. They are unlikely to concede with all of these irregularities. So there has to be a line in the sand. Thank you for that comment. There has to be a line in the sand. So how far do they take this? How far does it go, and on what grounds? So even though there might be legitimate irregularities, the question becomes, I guess, for GECOM or the court. I'm not sure who decides whether or not I believe it has to be the court to decide that there will be fresh elections. The question would become at that point, is there substantial irregularities found enough to thwart the results? So therefore, there is a need for a recall of the elections, and that would be something that would be interesting to watch if that's where this would go. But we don't know as yet, because according to Jagdeo, even if WIN was not in the race, because if you look at Region 4, for example, and Region 4 is a major PNC APNU stronghold, and PPPC won 80-something thousand votes. They won in that region. And APNU, I think, secured 46,000 votes. And the WIN party, 42,000 votes. So if let's just say, hypothetically speaking, the Win party did not enter this race, and it was between these two major parties. Even if, according to Jagdeo, the APNU had secured those votes that Win took, that they would have still won Region 4, says Dr. Jagdeo. I kind of disagree with that, because if there are other parties in the race and those other parties also secured some votes, and there's a possibility that if Win wasn't there, some of those people that voted for Win might have voted for the PPP Civic, which mean that they probably would have gotten more votes. Well, yeah, so technically, yes. So anyways, he crunched the numbers, and that's his perspective on this whole situation with the APNU in disbelief that they could not have lost Region 4 in this elections. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Now, while you're thinking about what to ask me or share your comments, we want to recognize Rakesh. Oh, thank you so much. Elston Wade says, it appears that the results are 36 for PPPC, 19 for Win, and 10 for the APNU. Are you talking about seats? I'm not sure. Yes. Well, I think yes, probably. Is that what you're referring to, Easton Wade? Okay. So yes, according to Jagdeo, they won a greater majority in this elections versus 2020, increasing their win by 10.6%, I believe. Yes, by 10.6% in this particular elections, compared to 2020, when, according to the numbers read by Jagdeo, his party won the elections by a mere 0.3%, which equated to about 6,000 plus votes, a very, very slim margin. And that's why they had that whole case with 32 and 33 and that running joke about 32 and 33 and, half of 65, if you were following the elections back then. So that was an interesting time in the political history of Guyana in 2020, when the APNU AFC coalition was pretty much kicked out of government based on a recount, I believe. So Carlan Maru says, but we're allowed to vote. Yes. There are people from the Commonwealth that have not been in the country for years yet they were allowed to vote. So we don't have any evidence. We just know that, people were seen that GECOM admitted that there were people that voted in the elections that are not born Guyanese, but that they have the right paperwork to vote. In that they are nationals, whether they're migrated there or they're working there and they gained residency, and that they were eligible to vote. That's what GECOM says. So I guess what the opposition needs to do, if they are questioning that and the Win party question it, is to go look for the evidence, and then you find the evidence, you show us the evidence, and then we can know, okay, this is a legitimate concern. This really happened, that there were people who voted in the elections that were not eligible to vote. .008PH says, final takeaway, PNC got 120,000 in region 4. I think you were saying in 2020. Okay, so to be clear, I'm not too familiar with the details of the 2020 elections, except for the major information. But in terms of the numbers, I'm not sure. But thanks for telling me that they got that. But even though they got 120,000, they still lost the government. So according to the results, at the end of the day, the PPPC won. And they're claiming that they won again. So we just have to wait for GECOM to make its announcement, hopefully pretty soon. Because you know what? People want to move on with their lives. I know that, people are, and so far I must say we haven't heard about any unrest. So I want to commend the Guyanese people for their maturity and allowing, good sense to prevail and allowing the process to play out, and waiting for the official declaration. Hopefully, after the declaration is made, nothing crazy happens. Hopefully everyone just accept and, move on. However, like I said earlier, if they are legitimate, proven by evidence, irregularities that are so significant and substantial, tell me if you think it's not fair or unfair. Do you think it's fair for GECOM to allow, well, not G, yes, for GECOM to allow or even entertain the possibility of total recount, a total recount of all the regions, or fresh elections? So, yes. If you're just joining us, welcome, guys. Welcome. Let me see if I see anyone new so far. Okay, so yes, I'm seeing some familiar faces. Let's see who are our top fans this evening. So, yes, these are our parties that were vying in these elections. We did commend all of the parties, technically I would say if you're like me, let's talk about me. If you're like me, I like to see the glass is half full. So even though there's going to be one winner, I think all the parties put in the work, and may the best party win based on not only putting in the work, but stimulating their support base and bringing them out to vote. So all the parties, for example, WIN, pretty new party, started this year. FGM, Forward Guyana Movement, even newer. And the ALP party, of course, is relatively new as well. Interestingly, the Alliance for Change, we're not hearing anything much about the Alliance for Change. What happened to the Alliance for Change? So you're seeing a shift in Guyana's politics, and you can get a gauge and an idea as to where people's minds are. You're seeing a deviation from the usual, APNU, the opposition, the PPPC. People have voted for other parties. The Forward Guyana Movement picked up quite a number of votes. I'm not sure. I think I heard, yes, I think it's been, well, let's wait for the official results. But based on the results that are out right now, the Forward Guyana Movement, which is led by Dr. Amanza Walton-Desire, has picked up one seat in Parliament. So she will be in Parliament representing her party. So that's a big deal, winning a seat. We haven't heard anything from the AFC. We don't think the AFC won a seat, or the ALP, but correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to dig tomorrow for some information to see if that's the case. But we do know that WIN is likely to be the main opposition party, picking up, I can't remember how many seats. Somebody mentioned that in the chat. And of course, the APNU have some seats, and the leading, if the PPPC is the leading party, then they have 30-something seats, more than 33, which is the minimum majority to control Parliament. So they have like a stronger control in Parliament because they have additional seats compared to the 2020 elections when. So let's see, Selena. Okay, we're down to the bottom here. Okay, you just can't say people have to get on with their lives. So what happened to the other half of the country? Okay, so I'm not saying people should get on with their lives. I don't think the intention here, and that's the other thing. As a broadcaster, if you want to call me a broadcaster, some people say I'm a narrator, a reporter, podcaster. The intention always look to me. The intention is not to say people should move on with their lives and forget about this whole thing. What I'm saying is that I hope that this situation is resolved amicably in the shortest possible period of time, so that the Guyanese people can move on with their lives. I don't think, maybe they do, but I don't think people want to be waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for how long and not know where this is going. I think people want to move on with their lives. It's not about being dismissive of the process, but the process has to take its course. But hopefully soon, the Guyanese people can, in fact, move on with their lives. Yes, yes. So, Ishin TV says the other half of the country will have to protest against illegitimacy as long as it takes. And if that is part, yes. Thank you for that comment. If that is what it takes for them to feel satisfied that they have done all they can, then yes, of course, Guyana is a democracy. And as a democratic country, people are allowed to protest. They're allowed their freedom of speech. They're allowed to say, we are not buying that, So if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. My thing was, hopefully, there's no, the situation does not descend into any unrest. And we do know that historically, Guyana's elections have been marked by unrest, violence, and things like that, which I don't want to talk about on this podcast because I don't want anyone to entertain that is a possibility. We want the best for Guyana. So that's the bottom line. Carlisle Madu, I'm not sure what you were referring to. Shara Duncan read it from the list, I think from the EU Observer team. You mean the number? Oh, so are you referring to Shara Duncan of credible sources reading out the list of irregularities that the observers listed? I think that's what you're referring to. Yes, I did see something by Shara Duncan earlier today, and he was listing the different irregularities. Yes, the main ones are like, the voters list and some other stuff. And also I saw an interview with a gentleman, his name was Ben, who said that there was a PPP official. Well, he named names. Rodriguez, the minister of public works, I think, and some other person who was working in tandem with the minister, allegedly. But he said he has it on tape. He has evidence that they were cajoling people who were coming in to vote, promising them contracts if they voted for the People's Progressive Party. I'm going to listen, tomorrow or the next time I bring a live stream, I'm going to have that clip queued up for you. Maybe you saw it already, but I believe it was Travis Chase who was speaking to a gentleman by the name of Ben, his last name. And that's what he said he saw. And he said he reported it to the police who were on site. I'm not sure I think he said the police didn't do anything. And that he has evidence, that recorded evidence of what was transpiring at that particular polling station. Alrighty, guys. So I did say I was going to keep the live short from 8:50 to 9:50. It's now 9:55. I really want to not drag this live stream out this evening, but I'm here. If you have any questions, you wanna throw me any comments, I'm happy to answer you. But I'd like to say that the live stream is has officially come to an end because I don't have any more material for you in terms of news or analysis or things like that. But as soon as we have something again, you can expect, I think, a video or two coming out from the final takeaway on the weekend. Maybe not a live stream because I know people are busy on the weekends and maybe they don't want to be sitting in a live stream for an hour or two. Time is of the essence. People, you can't get back time. So, and people have families and they have things that they want to do. So I definitely don't want to keep you guys too long. But air hugs and heart sign Thank you. Thank you so much, as always, for your support. VCAM says, as previously mentioned, this is my second of the week. Oh, yes. You did say you came in. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to overlook your comment. I'm so busy and so locked into, the agenda for tonight, making sure that I don't skip over any important thing I wanted to tell you. And I did skip over your earlier comment where you said this is your second time. And we really appreciate you coming by. You say, let's read what he says. VCAM, I'm not sure if it's a male or female, but the person is VCAM. Let's read what VCAM says. And people like VCAM make us want to come back, make us want to do this over and over and over and over again. Let me tell you something. Even if one single person comes into the live stream, we're having a live stream. And the good thing is, even if you're busy and you can't make the live stream, you can always go back and watch the video afterwards. So it's not like you're missing it completely. You're just missing it in the moment. And well, the other different thing is that you'll get a live response from me or any other person who's running the live stream at that point on the spot. We're actually communicating in real time. So that's the only difference versus commenting on the video where you have to wait for the moderator to answer your question, So yes. VCAM says, as previously mentioned, this is my second of this week. My second, I guess you're saying you joined us. This is the second time you're joining us for the week. Tuning in, and I very well with your professionalism on broadcasting. My opinion. Can you share more about yourself pertaining to broadcasting? Okay, so it's interesting when my audience, one or two persons, they want to dig a little deeper and they want to learn more about the channel, the broadcaster, the team, things like that. I know this channel has been set up as a podcast, a podcast broadcasting platform. So in that sense, if you notice, you don't see the people behind the videos. We have a couple of other persons that do narrate, or people say report the news or the analysis or whatever, or the podcast, but they don't show their faces as well. Most of the time you hear my voice, but you do hear other people as well. The thing is, we're set up as a podcast, and we want the focus to be on what we're bringing to you. And we have designed this platform to be the way it is. However, sir, I'm not sure if it's a male or female, just to address the commenter by the name Kem. We will explore the possibility of, at some point, coming to you where you can see the faces of the people behind our production. But thank you for your concern and asking about, I think the question is, share more about yourself pertaining to broadcasting. Okay, you didn't ask to see. Okay, yes. Well, what I can say is that what I do on this platform is a passion. I have a passion for the art, and somehow maybe has a voice for the art. And I think when we have a passion for something and it's easy for us to do what we do. And if we love what we do, people recognize it for what it is, So I'm thankful that we're able to do this, and we're able to build a community of now going on to 23,000 subscribers in a very short time. So we thank all of you who are part of that community, and you can always join. You don't have to subscribe. You can, because like I said, our audience is wider than that, hundreds of thousands of people coming through every month. So that's what I think is the essence of, according to you, the professionalism in the broadcasting that you sense. It's more than credentials. It's a love and a passion for the art. I hope I explained that well enough for you to understand. Thank you so much, VCAM. Thank you so much. Okay, yes. Okay, okay, great. Thanks for letting me know. So now I know. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And yes. And we know that, there's curiosity and all that, and. Alrighty. So guys, it's that time when we have to wrap up. So we will be ending soon. And over the weekend, you can expect some productions coming out of the final takeaway. So keep an ear out for the videos that are coming out. Do come back and share your thoughts in the comment section and things like that. So the other thing I wanted to say to you guys, we're open to feedback. Let us know what else you'd like to see us do. If good night, Selena. Good night. Thanks for stopping by. Good night, VChem. And anything that you think that we can do to improve, to make this experience better, let us know. Whether it's the live stream or our videos, let us know. Okay, so this is a major question. If you've seen both our video production, where we do you see all the images throughout the video, and then we have our podcast where we don't focus so much on the images, it's more on the sound, so you can listen on the go. We have a placeholder, and we just kind of show you key photos and key sound bites, from the officials that are speaking, but we focus more on the audio. Let me know, do you guys prefer the podcast where it's more relaxed and it's more like commentary, versus the videos where it's more like newsy? Let us know which one you prefer. Or do you just prefer the live stream? Good night, Caroline Madu. Have a great night. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you so much. Yes, okay. Okay, everyone. You are welcome to sign out of the stream. You can take your time, not a problem. But we're here and we'll stick around for another couple of minutes before we end the stream. But feel free to sign off on your own. We don't like to end the stream with people in it, but it always has to be that way because some people stay with us to the end, and we do appreciate that. Carlson Floyd, thank you so much for coming through and sharing your views with us as always. Eugenia Shuri and everyone else that came through, and thank you so much, Soul Sanctium, for moderating and answering the questions the audience posed in the comment section. Great job. VChem says, I love it as a radio theme. So you love the podcasting. I appreciate the seconds. I appreciate the sound. Not so much the image. You love it as a radio theme, like the podcasting where you just kind of hear the voice, but you're not really seeing too many photos. Okay. Yes. Based on our analysis, we think people do like the podcasting. So the thing with the podcast version of our content is that you can listen on the go. You don't have to sit and watch, because if it's just going to be the voice, whether it's myself or one of the other podcasters, you just can put on your headphones, your earphones, and you can wash the dishes, do your laundry, fold your clothing, even be in your car driving to wherever you're going on that particular day, and you can listen on the go. You don't have to worry about, oh, I'm not seeing the images, you know? So yes, I think a lot of people like the podcast version, like the live stream, right? We're not showing a lot of videos and photographs or images, but you are listening and you're able to continue doing what you're doing, just listening on the go. So you kill two birds with one stone, so to speak. Carla Madu, you're putting me on the spot, aren't you? Come on. Don't do this to me, okay? Don't do this to me, Carla Madu. Alrighty, guys. So, once again, it was a pleasure being here. I hope you enjoyed this evening's live stream. Do come again pretty soon. Make sure you subscribe so you can get the notifications when we are posting to let you know we are coming live and the time and the date. Also, to know when we post videos on the channel. Do come back soon. We love you all. Air hugs, heart emoji. See you real soon and have a wonderful weekend and stay safe. See you later.